Hi everyone, thanks for checking out another Eagle Eye Productions video, and today we're going to look at the Audi A8 that was built between 2010 and 2017, and that makes this the D4, the third generation Audi A8 that came into the market in 2009, 2010-ish. This car was focused on the United States, mostly China, and also a little bit Europe. And this is really when the shift happening from focusing mainly on Europe and the United States to also focusing on China. They had also various models, I believe 2.5 liter V6 FSI, just purely for China. There's no other marketplace in the world that particular engine was either. I think it was built, because it's always built in conjunction with the local manufacturer there. Without further ado, we had many petrols. We had the V6, we had the V8, we had the W12 even, and two diesels, a 3 liter V6 TDI and a 4.2 liter V8 TDI. And there's also a hybrid. So, as always, we start with the most expensive car here in the Netherlands. And this is a 4 liter TVSI S8 from 2016. So in the production run, this was late. Let's check. Car has been sold. Well, gentlemen, I think you made a nice pick. This car was 50k, and I think when it was new, it was somewhere in the area of 200,000, 220,000 euros. So depreciation alone is quite heavy on these cars. But that means you now can pick them up, and they're still not cheap to this day. But you pick them up for relatively cheap, I should say. So here we have 2017, last year. They already switched from something that normal humans can read to 55 TSI. This is probably a V6 petrol. We'll go into that later. Done not many kilometers, 340. So this is a 6-cylinder, 3 liter. Pushing out 340 horses, which is very respectable. CO2 emissions. This is nice on the highway. A big car like this, and this car weighs close to 2 tons, so they did a remarkable job. APK still runs, so it's still road legal until September of this year. That also means that it hasn't been standing there or not used, which is usually not a very good sign. But who would buy a car like this? I mean, it's still very respectable, 2017, so this was the facelift, and I still think these cars look great. This tail light always reminds me of those American cars, actually, from the 80s. But then, of course, in the European form and a little bit more modern. But look at this. This is like a technological spaceship. This is when you are quite rich, but not rich enough for a private jet. So you have to settle for a private jet on wheels. It's a long wheelbase. You can probably hook up your laptop to this. It has a mobile hotspot. It has so many options. Massage seat. Yeah. And it can be picked up for relatively cheap nowadays. Of course, it's not a cheap car to run and to maintain, but you have something very special. And this car hasn't done many kilometers. It's a petrol, 340 horses, quite technologically advanced, I would say. You can barely tell the age on this car. But of course now everything is even more extreme. But this was stood the test of time quite a lot. And this really blew us away 10 years ago, really. Service interval 22,000. So you either this many kilometers, or you need to go check in a couple of months. Next inspection is also set there. Reset. Efficiency assistant. I mean, this is great. Look at all the accessories. I mean, this is crazy. This is really crazy how much technology is in this car. So this is basically the most expensive car here you can buy. Currently it used to be the S8. Hopefully we can still come across an S8. Oh, we find someone here. This really has 4 liters. Now we'll look into this. This is also an S8 apparently. April of 2015. This one has an 8-cylinder 4 liter. How many horsepower it has? 520. 0 to 60 mile an hour in 4.1 seconds. I mean that is crazy. That's just like a bullet, right? And a very heavy and a very luxury bullet. V8 turbo. It's close to vulgar, but sportive. It's just right on the edge, if you ask me. But it looks alright. Looks in great condition still. It does have the S8 logos here, so it must be an S8. 512 horsepower. Look at that. I mean, I think still to this day it's a beautiful car, this one. Some people might find it tacky, but I think it aged well. It really did. Look at those seats, all leather of course. Hasn't done that much kilometers. But it's close to 2 tons. But you have plenty of power. Probably 1 or 2 turbos to power it. Nice. I mean, from the exterior it looks modified a bit. But it's nice, it's nice. Definitely it's not very business oriented. But maybe when you are in a business that is all, you know, in the tech industry or maybe even in the automotive industry, then it's a different thing. Nah, very beautiful. I wouldn't say it's a bargain. It's the Pro Line Plus, so it has all the options on there. I mean, it's crazy. Moving on, another S8. See, this looks a little bit more, yeah, a little bit more quiet, like a Q car, right? This is not the S8. They market it as the S8. No, they don't. It's just a 4 liter TFSI. Oh, they do. And it is the S8. I can tell by the logo here. See, this looks different. Of course, this is not the facelift. This is how it came onto the market in the early 2010s. You can tell the difference. I mean, this is definitely from a different era, and the other one, they really did a great job on the design. Definitely would go for the facelift, not only because it's better technically, but also newer technology. You can really say you go back a couple of years, and in this class, the top class, that really, you know, that says a lot, and you can really spot the difference. Let's see. This is all a bit tacky, right? With this, what is it? A carbon look, nicely perforated, heated and ventilated chairs. I mean, this is the top of the bill, guys. It don't matter if you in this class like Mercedes, BMW, or Audi. I mean, they're all great within its own way, and Audi always claims to be, you know, just that little bit further when it comes to attention to detail and technology. So it's really up to you. Here, 2015, 10 years old, long wheelbase, also Pro. This looks like it was 3 liter TFSI. Okay, so V6. 310 horsepower, which is nothing to be ashamed about. It's still loading. Okay, we'll come back. Let's see. A 4.2 V8. Definitely has to be part of that as well. So here, this is the 3 liter, 310 horsepower. This is a petrol. This is 2015, so I think that's the first year of the facelift. I can really tell by the design and a different steering wheel. So this is more of the normal spec cars, but you can tell it's looking great, fantastic. This is built for blasting down the autobahn and blasting down from the south to the north, from the north to the south. It's great. That's what it's built for, and that's what it feels happy to do. and you as the driver, you will be cocooned in a sea of luxury and nice materials. It's just a different class, and it shows statement like characteristics. So this is for CEOs or presidents of countries, and if you want something else instead of a S-Class or a 7 Series, look no further. I think design-wise, it's now more than 10 years on the market. It's aged quite well, and that's really a remarkable job for the designers. This is statement-like, Also close to 2,000 kilos. Didn't do that much kilometers in 10 years. I mean, that's what, 11,000 a year? So I'm very curious who owned it, and if it was only used for special occasions or what, and who buys a car like this, because these are 150 to 200,000 euros brand new. Maybe this one a little bit less, let's say 150. Now you add, so in 10 years you also you have to put more than 100,000 kilometers deducted just in depreciation alone, which is it's just crazy. It's nuts. So this car must be bought by either a company or by a government or somebody that has deep pockets. And still to this day it will depreciate a little bit further, especially the diesels. So let's check this diesel out. 2017, so one of the last years that this model was in use. It's the facelift, of course. It's the top model diesel. It's the fastest, most powerful diesel that Audi had for sale for this model, the 4.2 TDI. Looks quite beautiful actually, and really built to cross continents in great comfort. Looks very nice. All the switches, you see somebody been taking care of it, or it barely has been used. It has all the options, this one. It is in very great condition. You can tell by the leather and everything. It's probably been driven by a chauffeur. The V8 TDI. It's from a different era, guys. It's 2017, but they don't make them like this no more. I'm telling you. And this is a perfect car if you still have. It's 2025 right now. If you still need to drive around lots of kilometers for the next 5 years, this could really be an option. And then you just park it somewhere in a museum and look at it. It's been there, photographed not too long time ago. It still road legal. It needs to be tested again in September of this year. So that also means it hasn't been standing still. Close to 400 horsepower from a 4.2 V8. But it's a diesel, so that's quite an achievement. It also didn't do much kilometers. This is this one is also 150, 180k when brand new. I mean, we can look it up. Do we have a license plate? Yes, we do. I think I checked this one out before. This one is, see if this works. Yeah, it works like this. 200,000, almost 210k, and now this car is from 2017, mind you, 8 years ago, and now it's for sale for 35, 36. Depreciation on these cars are crazy. I mean, they're normally bought by companies because with tax returns on depreciation, and I'm not a financial guy, but otherwise you wouldn't do this. This would be a financial suicide, so to speak. And without these tax returns, these cars wouldn't be bought, wouldn't be made even, because only people with very deep pockets that can depreciate the car, that can depreciate a couple of K each month, and they don't care about it. So even if this car is standing on your driveway, it costs you thousands and thousands of euros. I mean, that's just let that sink in. But again, for guys that is to a certain degree wealthy, that still need to drive around for the next couple of years and like to do so, get some work done in the back, and need to be chauffeured around, that don't have the money for a private jet, this is a great time to pick up a V8 TDI. Why not? And I'm sure this is still a Euro 6 emissions car, so you can drive into any major city here in Europe, no problem. I mean, that's something you have to consider, especially as a businessman. So Now let's not make this video too long. Let's see if we can find something special still. FSI, this 2012. After that it was all TFSI. So FSI really is like late 2000s, early 2010s. Here's a hybrid that might be interesting as well. Let's see, a 2013 hybrid. So this has the 2-liter TFSI, so a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo, and they added a hybrid system. Now let this load. See something else. 3-liter TDI, long VIP 4. Okay. Anything else? This is loading still. You see, we're going now to the diesels. 2010. They are never really getting very cheap. This has done 300,000 kilometers almost with a petrol, which is quite a lot. But here you can pick them up for 16k, and you have the top spec model. Not the S8, but the top spec model when it comes to petrol, without being like really a quattro product, if you know what I mean. Not an S8, not an S6. Didn't make any RS8, of course. Here we have another TFSI done 150, and it's for 1 year older, 150, and this has been doing what? Okay, just a little bit less. Let's go into detail with this one. So I said it's a 2-liter 4-cylinder. It's all right. 211 horses, which is for Holland probably sufficient, but maybe other parts in Europe this engine has to work a little bit harder. Mind you, it's a heavy car, and 211 horses might be enough for an average car, but since it's so heavy, and I think this engine has to work quite hard. But overall, I mean, when you're driving down the highway 150, 140, the battery pack will then get some new energy going, and when you then drive to the city, you can drive a little bit electric, and it can help you by acceleration and start-stop traffic, because that uses the most fuel. So in general, it will be a better deal for you, and also because the hybrid system works. This makes sure that the car emits less CO2, and that also means, because of we in the Netherlands at least, we have a tax-based, an emission-based tax system. That means that these cars were way cheaper to purchase when brand new. So we have all these things and regulations that the government gets involved, and that's why these cars are now getting smaller and smaller displacement-wise, because yeah, we're getting up to a point that I think the car manufacturers cannot do it anymore without, you know, making an unreliable car. You have to look at the older cars when all these emissions regulations weren't in use, and how far those kind of cars go in comparison to new cars nowadays. I mean, Volkswagen Golf has a 1-liter 2-cylinder with a turbo. And again, it's sufficient. It's tweaked sufficiently in you know, with the DSG helping you. But they will not reach 200,000 kilometers, not with major problems and major repairs. So it's just, in a sense, planned obsolescence, I think. Okay, I've been rambling on too long. 25k for this car. It hasn't done much kilometers yet. It looks all right, no problem. Here you see the green meter, plug-in hybrid, still nice. I mean, if you have a company that, and many companies now need to comply with the ESG regulations, right? Environmental regulations. If you have this kind of company, what's your footprint and this and that? I mean, this car totally fits in, and I'm sure Audi also for the new generation had hybrids. They removed the hybrid sticker, but this is a hybrid. You can barely tell, but overall nice. You can only tell by the green gauge here. Already in January of 2013. I remember them coming to the market. Well, this is all I have to say when it comes to this 3rd generation Audi A8. I mean, they even had W12s here, but also they had hybrids. They had 2 diesels, either V6 or V8. And this is the time when they really make a change into more green and less engine displacement. Because FSI is basically the same engine as a TFSI, only the T is an extra added turbo, and Audi always went for the, you know, big displacement route when it comes to generating horsepower. But after that, they just had to add turbos to cars to still get some, you know, to still get some performance going, basically. Thanks for watching this video, and we catch you in the next one.